Polish millionaire is speaking out today after facing backlash for stealing a hat.
And the kid, it was slack-jawed. He couldn't believe what was happening.
He snatched a signed hat that was from a tennis star that was meant for that child right next to him in the crowd. And you took a hat from a little boy. That is literally the definition of taking candy from a baby.
Well, the tennis player did ask for the kid to be found. The kid was found, and as I understand it, he brought the kid in and made the kid whole.
That was a fully grown man in the stands snatching a hat away from a kid. The millionaire is finally speaking out today after facing criticism for grabbing a child's hat during the US Open this week. What kind of adult man would rip away a gift intended for a child on live television in front of millions of viewers? That's exactly what ignited the internet when a clip from the US Open blew up online. It all happened right after Kamil Machak's match at the tournament. The Polish player had just secured a victory and wanted to thank his fans. He noticed a boy named Brock near the edge of the court, stepped over, and lifted his cap toward him. It was one of those small but magical fan moments. But then something nobody expected occurred. Before the cap could reach the child's hands, Podasiewicz, a Polish CEO, leaned in, snatched it, and kept it for himself. The boy tried to object, but the hat was already taken. The whole thing was recorded on camera, and within moments the video began spreading online. What made it even worse was the boy's reaction. His frustration was obvious, and the crowd instantly knew this wasn't how the moment was meant to go. On social media, the clip was replayed non-stop. People zoomed in, slowed it down, and reposted it with captions, calling the act selfish, shameless, and downright strange. By the time most people woke up the following morning, nearly everyone's scrolling feeds had seen it. And the question on everyone's mind was simple. Who was this guy, and why would he do that? But that wasn't the whole tale, because the internet didn't just stop at mocking the clip. It went digging for details. The internet never sleeps, especially when a moment like this goes viral. Within hours, online investigators had uncovered the man's identity. His name, Pod Stier, a wealthy CEO from Poland running a paving company called Drogbrook. Suddenly, it wasn't just a viral moment. It had turned into a full-blown scandal connected to a name, a face, and a business. And with that link, the outrage exploded. Comment sections filled up, memes spread like fire, and even his company's Google search results were hijacked. Instead of ads or usual information about his firm, people searching his name saw headlines and posts about the stolen hat. For a CEO, that's a nightmare no money can easily fix. Meanwhile, Kamil Machak, the tennis star, didn't just stay quiet. He took to social media asking fans to help him find the kid who had been left with nothing. Yes, the tennis player did call to locate the boy. The boy was found, and as I understand, he invited him and gave him the recognition he deserved. That call worked. Eventually, he tracked down Brock, the young supporter in the clip, and made things right by meeting him face-to-face, signing autographs, and giving away more memorabilia. The kid walked away beaming. But for the CEO, the damage was already irreversible. And that's when the pressure became crushing. People weren't just outraged. They wanted to hear directly from the man who had taken the hat. And soon they did. With social media raging and his company's name dragged through dirt, Podsterk finally broke his silence. Days after the incident, he released a formal statement on his company's website. For many, this was the moment they had been waiting for. An explanation, an apology, maybe even accountability. In his statement, Sherrick said he thought the hat was being handed to him, not the child. He explained that his sons had asked for autographs earlier, and in the chaos of the crowd, he assumed Matrazak was offering the cap to them. He admitted it was a mistake, apologized to the boy, his family, the fans, and even the tennis player. But the way he phrased it raised questions. He described the child as injured, which led some to think the translation was off. Was he referring to emotional hurt, or did he believe he had caused real physical harm? Either way, people weren't convinced. He also stressed another point. None of the posts circulating online, statements supposedly from him, his wife, or lawyers were real. He denied threatening lawsuits, denied posting sarcastic remarks, and denied defending his actions in the ways people were sharing. According to him, it was all fake content designed to fuel the drama further. It looked like the responsible move, but online, it only bred more suspicion. And that's where things became difficult, because his apology might have ticked the right boxes. But the internet didn't buy it. But that wasn't the conclusion of the story. Because when viewers compared his words to what they actually saw in the footage, the gap was impossible to overlook. Here's the issue. The video showed one reality, but his apology described another. In the footage, Zirk didn't gently reach for the cap. He yanked it. The boy resisted and even said, "No, what are you doing?" But the man held tight and ignored him. It looked intentional. It looked selfish. Now, compare that to his claim that it was just confusion, that he assumed the cap was for his children. On paper, it sounds like a reasonable slip, but when the footage was replayed, that story didn't add up. If he truly thought it was for him, why rip it from a kid's hands? Why ignore the boy's protests? That's why his apology failed. It felt less like an honest admission and more like a PR move. Instead of owning what everyone clearly saw, he leaned on confusion and mistranslation. The gap between his words and the clip made it easy for people to dismiss him. Reactions online summed it up. Nobody believed it was mere distraction. People saw focus, purpose, and even entitlement in what he did. To them, it wasn't an accident. It was deliberate. And if that wasn't enough, rumors began swirling that made the mess even worse. As the clip kept spreading, unverified stories started popping up. Some posts claimed Sturrock snapped at the boy, allegedly saying, "If you were quicker, you'd have it." Others said he or his lawyers threatened to sue anyone criticizing him online. These quotes spread like wildfire, circulated across forums and Twitter as though they were true. But here's the twist. Sturrock denied all of it. He said none of those lines came from him, his wife, or his attorneys. And to be fair, media outlets covering the case also labeled them unverified. In short, they may have been made-up lines people pushed just to spark clicks and outrage. Still, by the time he clarified, the damage was sealed. Memes and furious comments don't wait for fact checks. His name was now tied not just to the clip, but also to a wave of wild rumors. And that's a storm few reputations can weather. Meanwhile, the fallout for his business was real. His company's online searches were dominated by the scandal, with memes and negative stories drowning his brand, even though he insisted he had long supported kids and athletes through community programs. One viral clip erased all that in public perception. The story could have ended with the apology, but instead it highlighted how swiftly reputations collapse. In the end, what began as a simple fan moment turned into a worldwide spectacle. A boy left disappointed, a tennis pro had to step in to fix things, and a millionaire CEO landed in the center of scandal. His apology may have ticked the right boxes, but the footage told its own truth. And for most, that truth was undeniable. What stands out isn't just the act of taking a hat, it's how quickly the internet responded, how fast online sleuths revealed his identity, and how rumors, true or not, stoked the fire. In just days, his reputation shifted from businessman to viral villain. It also raises a bigger thought. If cameras hadn't been rolling, if millions hadn't been watching, would there have been any apology at all? Or would the moment have vanished like countless others that never reach online? One thing's certain. In the digital era, even the tiniest decisions can define you. For a single grab at the US Open became the event that reshaped how the world views him. So, what do you think? Was this really just a misunderstanding blown out of scale, or a rare glimpse of true character exposed on camera? Drop your opinions in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.